Hi, hello. My name is Liz, and you're watching For Booking Out Loud. So, I don't want to get in the habit of doing book hauls. First of all, I'm a teacher. We don't have that much money. And second of all, I don't want to get in the habit of buying a ton of books. However, October's a bit different just because I actually got a lot of books this month because it is my birthday. So I decided to do a book haul just to share what I did end up getting through gifts, gifting myself, all of that, and share some of the things that I'm planning to read in either the near future or distant future. Again, typically I read books I haven't read from my library at home, or I read on my Kindle through the Libby app. So, not typical. Don't expect these all the time or constant. Unusual video for me. However, let's get into this. So, book of the month, and I remember this last year, but I completely had forgotten about it this year. If it's your birthday month, they actually give you a gift or a free credit. So you, instead of one book, if you do it monthly, you get 2 books, which, hey, I'm gonna take it. So the one book that I ended up getting through my usual credit is Leave the World Behind by Rumaan. And it's supposed to be a psychological horror where a family goes to a vacation house away from New York City, and then the family that owns the vacation house comes and says everything has shut down, Wi-Fi, electricity, and they want to escape to the house that they own in the country. And so throughout the book, supposedly these 2 families are suspecting each other of lying and being basically not good people. Haven't read it yet, but really excited, especially since it's supposed to pack a punch considering how short this book is. Now, the book that I got as the gift is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I had saw that it is a very anticipated release, and I've actually never read a V.E. Schwab book, but I was really excited and entranced by the summary of the idea of a girl living forever but being forced to be forgotten and live a life of invisibility for 200 plus years. Just sounds really interesting to me, and it's been getting a ton of good reviews, so that's what I used my extra credit on. And again, haven't read it yet, don't know if I'll get to it this month, hopefully next month, and I'm really hoping it's worth all the hype. So the next segment is books that I got as gifts. One of those is a book I actually got from my school. Not necessarily a book that I got as a birthday gift. It's actually a book that we were supposed to use as teachers' social book clubs. But I got it this month, so I'm gonna count it. It's called Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together? And it's about discussing the issues of why do all the kids in a cafeteria sit together in their racial groups? And more importantly, why is it still important to talk about this? Not only as teachers, but as adults in this country. And I'm really excited to read it. Hopefully we do end up grouping back into our intended reading groups later this year, but right now everything's crazy and I don't anticipate it happening anytime soon. But I still really want to read it, and I'm really glad that my school did still buy these books for us. So thank you, principals. Another book that I got as a gift for my birthday is this incredibly nice copy of Circe by Madeline Miller. And it does have this awful sticker on it, and I will be fixing that later. but I did enjoy this book when I read it. I enjoy books about Greek mythology, and I love the idea of authors churning stories on their head. But honestly, I asked for it because, well, this cover is absolutely wonderful, and it's so gorgeous, and I liked the book enough to want an actual copy, and if this cover existed, I wanted a beautiful cover like this. And my birthday was coming up, so I asked for it. So the third book I got as a gift this month is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I actually do own a copy of this book, but it's a used copy from a library. And I saw this copy and I really, really wanted it. And so I asked for it for my birthday. It's one of my top 10 books, and I made a video on it that I'll link up here somewhere. But it's beautiful. It has sprayed edges and I love it so much, and I'm really happy that I have this copy now. But books that I bought for myself this month, going into that territory, I went a bit crazy. But I look at it, some of these were used. Most of them were on sale from Powell's, a used bookstore in Portland. So supporting independent used bookstores, always important. The first one is No Longer Human by Junji Ito. I'm really excited to go further into Ito's work. And No Longer Human is actually a edition of a more well-known novel in Japanese writing, and he made it into a manga. From my understanding, it is about a man's, I think, descent into madness, or more accurately, his disconnect to humanity and how he's just not connecting. But either way, it sounds horrifying. I mean, if you see No Longer Human right there, even this cover is phenomenal. So, incredibly excited to go into it and find out what it actually is about. And then of course I also got Smashed and Shiver. And these are two collections of Junji Ito's short stories. And I actually started this guy today, which I'm really excited about. These stories are stuff that he had published in different magazines, and they're just collected into these beautiful hardcover books that, I don't know. He has some really famous stuff, and this book is all about different short stories that he's really known for, and besides some of his longer work from over here, this is iconic from him. So I'm excited to read them. Another one that I bought for myself is Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. I love Neil Gaiman's children's horror, Coraline, and this book. I have read The Graveyard Book probably 2 times before this, and I'm always waiting for it at my local library through ebooks. And so when I saw that this was a used book that I could get for like $6 for hardcover, and I won't have to wait for it anymore at the library, I said yes. I actually already own Coraline, both in book form and graphic novel through my Kindle. So this is a really nice way to already have something that I really enjoy. And I'll do a third reread. And then, of course, I got The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. It's a recent release of a horror novel by a Own Voices author. And again, I've heard it's amazing. I've heard it's great. Amazing, great. I heard it is great and absolutely terrifying. So I'm very excited to read it. Honestly, that's all I really needed, especially considering it was a great sale going on. But then these next books I did really want. Again, a great used book, Ken Kesey's Sometimes a Great Nation. It's actually based in Oregon, and it's about, I'm pretty sure it's about a logging company and a family that's going under, and just their struggles and social struggles going on. And so having it being based in Oregon, Kesey being a pretty famous Oregon author, he wrote The One Who Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest. Read that, wasn't too fond of it, but interested in to see what his second novel has in store and see what he does with these social issues for a logging company out in rural Oregon. And then one that I'm actually really excited to read is called The Abandonment, and it's about a father and a daughter pair that lived in, it's this park in Portland called Forest Park, and it's huge. I think it's one of the biggest city parks in the United States, but they were discovered to be living there illegally, and how this girl is growing up kind of on the fringes of society. So it's based in Portland. It's about a girl and a father and a growing up story. So again, having it be used, having it be a novel I've never heard of, but I'm very excited to read, and having the summary be very intriguing. I'm excited for it. And 2 more books that I talked about in my nonfiction November TPR, which I'll link somewhere. Survival Math by Michael S. Jackson, another book based on someone growing up in Portland, but this time it's an autobiography. And then Stamped from the Beginning. 2 books I've had my eye on, and because there was an awesome sale going on, of course I picked them up. So, social issues, nonfiction books, sale. Yes, I picked it up. Birthday month. So I did go a bit crazy, and it happens. But I'm really excited to read all of them, and I hope maybe you have some ideas on what books you might want to buy or books you want to look into in the future. But if you liked my content, I am posting on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I will see you next time. Bye! And then of course, I also got Survival Math. So that's how I'm justifying this.